Yo, what's going on YouTube, and welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today at the New York Islanders, as we've got some interesting things to talk about here. There's been some stuff going on with the New York Islanders, maybe not from like actual news we've been hearing, but behind the scenes, Lou Lamoriello has something up his sleeve, and we'll be taking a look at some of the rumors on that in this video. So let's get right into what we don't know, because that's literally all we do know is the Islanders have not made a contract signing. Every other team so far this free agency, since the start of free agency, has made a move. That is, except the New York Islanders. The New York Islanders have not signed anybody. They haven't made any trades. They have done absolutely nothing. Now, the only two teams after day one to not make a move were the Islanders and the St. Louis Blues. And now the Islanders, after day two, and now we've seen some re-signings in St. Louis. Since then, the Islanders are the only team yet to make a move, or so we think. So, what we're hearing is, according to certain sources, that the Islanders have re-signed Casey Cizikas and Travis Zajac. Now, I don't like the idea of them re-signing Zajac, but maybe that's part of the plan here. Maybe if they move out a center or something like that, maybe that's why they need Zajac back. Not really sure. Now, we're hearing that they are still in the process of signing some of these other guys that are coming up. A guy like Kyle Palmieri is being thrown around as a guy that is likely to come back, but it hasn't been confirmed. So Cizikas, Zajac, and Kyle Palmieri are three guys to keep an eye on. And it sounds like Lou Lamoriello does have two of, or possibly all three of those guys already signed. It's just not given to the NHL yet. Lou Lamoriello has something that he's trying to hide here, and that's what we're getting to. Now, the Islanders have some restricted free agents they have to re-sign. They have to re-sign forward Anthony Beauvillier, defenseman Adam Pelech, and goaltender Ilya Sorokin. Now, I just mentioned three guys that they already have that are unrestricted free agents that are going to be signed, likely. Again, these are guys that are pretty high-profile players. Guys like Casey Cizikas, Kyle Palmieri, and to a lesser extent, Travis Zajac. Palmieri and Cizikas are the two highest big boys on the board right now for free agency, and they're not signed. Sounds a little bit interesting, and it just so happens to be Lou Lamoriello's players, right? So you've also got these restricted free agents, three of them. So the Islanders have 5 or 6 guys. If Zajac is on that list, you potentially have 6 guys that are either in the process of being signed by the Islanders or already are signed by the Islanders. Now, the problem is the Islanders' cap space at $17.67 million makes you wonder, the math doesn't add up. 6 of those guys, there's no way you get under 17.67, if we're going to be completely honest. So, what may be happening here is Lou Lamoriello is talking to teams around the league. Right? You've got that cap space. You're looking to add a scoring player. And you have 3 guys that could be given an offer sheet. Sorokin, Pelech, or Beauvillier all could be given an offer sheet. And because of the Islanders' cap space, maybe teams would consider that. Now, we're talking about Vancouver, potentially an Elias Pettersson offer sheet, right? They signed Connor Garland. They signed some of their depth guys. But they still have to re-sign Jason Dickinson, Quinn Hughes, and Elias Pettersson, right? So those 3 guys have to be re-signed. They only have $16 or $17 million in cap space. That doesn't work out. So teams may be willing to do the math and say, you know what? They can't re-sign Elias Pettersson. We're going to give them an offer sheet that they can't match. But you can't do that with Lou Lamoriello and the New York Islanders, because we don't know the exact number that Cizikas, Palmieri, and Zajac are at right now, and potentially Zach Parise. So, with that said, now you kind of wonder, well, how do I offer sheet Beauvillier, Pelech, or Sorokin if I don't really know how much cap space Lou Lamoriello actually has? And Lou Lamoriello is very good at keeping things tight to the vest, and he's doing this on purpose. So, with that said, now we're looking at guys that are signed and potentially offer sheeted. The Islanders are rumored to be looking at guys via trade. Vladimir Tarasenko has been a big name that he has been talking to over the last couple of weeks with the St. Louis Blues. The Blues would have to retain salary, especially now with Brandon Saad on the roster at his cap hit. They have a guy that can fill that role, so they could retain on Vladimir Tarasenko. He's a 29-year-old winger. He's had some shoulder issues, which is the biggest thing. He's had three shoulder surgeries. And with 2 years left at $7.5 million per year, you would expect Lou Lamoriello to retain some of that salary by Doug Armstrong and the Blues. So that's the first guy we're looking at. We're also looking at, like I mentioned, Zach Parise via free agency for the forward group. But then defense gets interesting. There's three guys that the Islanders could be looking at here. You have two Anaheim Ducks players. They're both left-shot defensemen. You have the first one, Hampus Lindholm, a 27-year-old defenseman, making $5.2 million this season. Now, this may be attractive to the New York Islanders because, well, Hampus Lindholm has 1 year left on his deal. And this is a guy that the Islanders, Lou Lamoriello, can sign on his own terms over the course of this year, likely at the end of next season, right? And he's still 27 years old. Cam Fowler's a little bit of a different story. Cam Fowler, at 2 years older, 29 years old, making $6.5 million per season for the next 5 years. So there's $52 million in that contract that Cam Fowler signed with the Ducks. So there is some genuine concern from Lou Lamoriello. Again, when you're trying to keep cap space for Pelech and Barzal over the next couple years, do you really want a Cam Fowler cap hit on there? Probably not. But the problem is Hampus Lindholm may be more expensive than Cam Fowler next year. Is that something that you look at as well, right? So those are the two Duck guys. I would prefer Hampus Lindholm. He's the better player, even if you have to pay him a little bit more. I'd rather have him than Cam Fowler at this point. I love Cam Fowler, but he isn't the same player that he used to be. And then the Nashville Predators left-shot defenseman Mattias Ekholm. Now, he is a lot older. He's 31 years old. He's only making $3.75 this season, which is very, very cheap. And now that we've seen teams around the league kind of figure out their defensive situation, you know, you have the Flyers, they bring in Ristolainen, they brought in Ryan Ellis, they brought in some different guys. You look up in Jersey, they bring in Dougie Hamilton. You look at the Blue Jackets, they re-sign Werenski, they bring in Jake Bean. The Blackhawks, they bring in Seth Jones. You see a little bit of a goal. We've seen the goalie carousel, but we've also seen a little bit of a defenseman carousel toward the top, and we saw that here. So, does Mattias Ekholm fit in that same category? Probably not. But for what the New York Islanders need to potentially replace a guy like Nick Leddy next season, a guy like Mattias Ekholm makes sense for the Islanders. So, with all of that said, now, if you're going to trade for one of those guys, what do the Islanders have in assets? Well, they have their first-round picks for the next 3 years. And as an Islander fan, I don't want to see them trading any of those first-round picks, at least not yet. Especially with the way the Metro is going to be over the next 3 years. The Rangers are getting better. The Devils are getting better. LOL, Buffalo, and Columbus. But still, everybody else is going to be competitive. I mean, I can name, the two Pennsylvania teams, Pittsburgh and Philly, the Rangers, the Devils, the Islanders, and I didn't even talk about teams like, that are coming back in the division. Does Carolina get better? Where's Washington? So there are some good teams in that division, and I have to think to myself that the Islanders are going to have to get better. And if they're going to get better, they need to move some of these draft picks besides their first. Now, they have their 2023 and 2024 second-round picks, so that may be attractive. They do have the Avalanche's pick, but that is going to go to the Coyotes in that deal with Andrew Ladd. So they have their 2023, 2024 second-round picks. They also have this year's and 2024's third-round picks as other assets they could use. Not to mention, they do have some prospects like Simon Holmstrom, which was a first-round pick in the 2020 NHL draft. He really slowed his development this year with the Islanders, so there is some concern about Simon Holmstrom and his value, but maybe that's a guy that's attractive because he has that first-round pick tag to him. Reese Newkirk, Blade Jenkins, and then going to some defensemen, you have Samuel Bolduc and Bodie Wild as guys that could generate interest in the market if the Islanders want to pick up a Lindholm, an Ekholm, a Fowler, or a Vladimir Tarasenko. So with that said, what are the Islanders going to do here? Because we know Lou Lamoriello is purposely not announcing these signings of probably Casey Cizikas, Zach Parise, and Kyle Palmieri. Those are the three guys that the Islanders seem like they have re-signed. It's just not made official yet. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think the Islanders are doing here behind the scenes? Because I really think this is more of a move for Lou Lamoriello to prevent an offer sheet on guys like Beauvillier, Pelech, and Sorokin, because the Islanders' cap hit is fairly low right now. Let's say, Lamoriello's doing the numbers. He's got Cizikas signed, he's got Parise signed, and he's got Palmieri signed. And if teams see that the Islanders have $3, $4, maybe $5 million in cap space, well, maybe they'll throw in an offer sheet at Beauvillier, Pelech, or Sorokin, and maybe get one of those guys. So this is a good move by Lou Lamoriello. He knows what he's doing. I'm going to trust the process here. The Islanders have $17.67 million on the cap right now, but internally, in the management group, you have to think Lou Lamoriello has something up his sleeve. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like what we're doing here at Goal Line Hockey, want to see the latest news around the NHL, more videos just like this one, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and an even bigger subscribe down below. Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys next time.